Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up in their names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
What does the Fed not lowering interest rate mean for your high yield savings account? Well, that's actually good news for your high yield savings account, because what's going to happen now is that the rate that the banks are paying you to keep your money in those savings accounts are going to remain the same. All right. So instead of the banks starting to lower how much they pay you month over month for having your money in a high yield savings account, they're going to now keep it steady, because they are getting more from your money than they are from the Fed. What does that mean? If the Fed's rate is at 4.2 to 4.5%, if a bank is paying you, I don't know, 3.7 or 3.8% in order to have your money and utilize that money in order to lend out to others, they're happy to pay a cheaper rate than they are getting from the Fed. And that's why a high yield savings account exists. Yes, you get that interest rate that you still have to pay taxes on, but it's going to be less than what the Fed is charging the banks. Otherwise, the banks would just go to the Fed and take out a limited amount of money, right? And so when people are going after mortgages and different types of loans, you have to understand the Fed interest rate is at 4.2 or 4.5%, and the bank doesn't have enough assets based on the people who are allowing them to borrow their money in their high yield savings. They're going to go to the Fed, and therefore the rate that they charge on that mortgage is going to be much higher than 4.5% as well. And so this is good news for those who are saving right now, especially saving and waiting for rates to drop, because now your money is going to go a little bit further while inflation is dying down. And while I'm at it, let's look at where inflation is at today, because we haven't taken a look at where inflation is at. So let's see. Inflation is currently at 2.4% for the 12 months ending March 2025. This is a decrease from the previous rate of 2.8% in the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Now, this is a lot less than I thought it would be in March of 2025. We still haven't gotten April, and we're in May, so we haven't gotten May numbers yet. But having a rate at 2.4% in March is not bad at all. Not bad at all. That means we're getting closer to the Fed's target of 2%. And once it hits that, I'm sure that Jerome Powell will get greedy and try and get inflation to stay at 2% for longer. So getting to 2.4% is definitely something to be happy about. We're getting closer to our goal. It is less than 2.8%. And I won't even say my goal, is Federal Jerome Powell's goal. And he's getting closer to succeeding at that. And I believe by holding interest rates steady this month, for this quarter, I believe that he's getting where he needs to be. Historically, the annual rate has been 2.9%, and in 2023 it was 4.1%. So that was insane in 2023 to have a whole point more than the average. And so we're getting back to a sense of normalcy. We're below average in inflation right now. So people will have a lot more breathing room if this continues and we start to see increases in wages. Another thing that I want to address is that my previous job that I was at, and this is only one company, so it's not everywhere, but my previous job that I was at, the money that I was getting paid before I left, they're no longer even offering that to people. And so people are making so much less for the same jobs, right? Because again, the demand for a job now is much higher, and so you have more people that you can source from in order to achieve the same results or the same role at a cheaper cost. Now, if you can get 2 people to do my job, it's probably going to be better than just one person doing the job. Now, obviously, if there's a skill gap in the role, if there's a knowledge gap in the role, if there's an educational gap in the role, it's going to be much harder to fill those positions. And so those people are going to have a more likelihood of being treated better, being appreciated more, and being encouraged to continue to do a great job and incentivized to do it as well. But if you're working a job where you're easily replaceable and anyone can learn your job in less than, I don't know, 6 months, then the likelihood of you being truly appreciated is less and less and less, right? You have to show up in more ways than one at that point and do much more. And so you want to find jobs where your role cannot be easily replaced, where you are more valuable than looking outside or looking elsewhere in order to achieve the same results. And once you get to that type of place, and when you get to that type of space and mindset, and you're able to do so much and add so much value to an organization, then you'll truly be indispensable. I know so many people right now that are doing jobs where it's easily replaceable, and because of that, they're always feeling stressed, always feeling like they can be replaced, always feeling underappreciated. First and foremost, that is the biggest one, feeling underappreciated. So we want to get out of that. We want to apply ourselves so that we're no longer feeling that way. We want to feel as though we're doing our jobs to the best of our abilities and that people actually appreciate that, right? And so in everything that we do, strive for greatness. Strive to be the best that you can possibly be. And don't allow nobody to tell you that you can't do something. And once you start leaning in that direction, once you start doing things in that direction, the world will open up for you. Now, I'm super excited that interest rates are dropping. I'm super excited that inflation is dropping. The Fed's funds rate has stayed the same. Our high yield savings accounts are going to be able to yield a little bit more fruit. And as we continue to save money in that high yield savings account, guess what's going to happen to inflation? It's going to go down because we're not spending the money. Right? Once you start to spend that money, inflation will start to go up because there's more money circulating within the economy. And so you're incentivized in more ways than one to keep your money in a high yield savings account, because not only are you going to get paid, but that money is going to be worth more right now than what the inflation rate is. And so you're going to be actually getting richer even with a high yield savings account, which is crazy to think, right? Most people think if you're not in the stock market, if you're not in real estate, that you can't get rich. Obviously, you're not going to get rich off of a 3, 4, or even 5% rate in a high yield savings account, but you will be richer than you were before. And rich is way different than wealthy, right? So that's a whole different ball game. But the goal is to be better off than you were the day before. And so you can definitely do that with a high yield savings account currently. And that may change in the future based on where inflation is and where interest rates are and where the high yield savings rates are. But right now, you're making more than the inflation rate, which is a great thing. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.